Mr. Brawley Hodder here now. I know it's so surprising that it would start raining as people are leaving Glasgow. I mean, what's going on? Thank you so much. I feel very privileged to have been asked along here by my newly elected MP. I'm Glasgow East, Natalie McGarry. Today, it's been, I don't think any of us quite believe what has happened, but I was thinking about what I would say here today as I was coming along. Now, one of my dearest great friends who passed away before she could see this was Margot MacDonald, who, as we know, had a huge effect on this city and on this movement. And her big worry, she asked before she died, I went to see her, and she said that her big worry was that there wouldn't be enough time for the population to be educated. And she didn't mean in an academic sense, she meant educated in what was really going on in Scotland before we voted. And I think we saw that there was a late surge, and we did brilliantly with the yes movement, but there was still a 10%, 15% of the population who were scared. They didn't know enough, they believed a lot of stuff. I would like to say that May the 7th was the day that Scotland became fully educated about what this country is, what this country needs. And that, for me, actually, 56 SNP MPs was the culmination. That was the referendum for me. So we should give ourselves a round of applause because we got there, albeit later. Also, I read a really interesting thing in Forbes magazine, of all things, very posh, the business magazine in America, coming from another perspective, which actually said Americans should be looking at what happened in Scotland as well, from a campaigning point of view, but also to understand why. Something the Labour Party has never really embraced. Why has this happened? Why is there this disaffection? And this guy very candidly said, we have to understand that Scotland suffered more than any other country in Europe with the deindustrialisation of this city and beyond. That it was completely underestimated that the decisions that were taken in London by small groups of people about getting rid of the shipyards, the industries and all those other industries that went along, that the profound effect on this city and beyond was massive. And that is why we are here today. I read another great film is Jimmy Reid, and Jimmy Reid said after the UCS work-in, they went along to the Heath government and said, these shipyards are obsolete. They haven't been retooled really since the Victorian era. We need to do something else. Let us build the platforms for the North Sea. Let us build the supply vessels. And they said no. And they closed those yards and threw many thousands and thousands of lives of people onto the scrap heap. Norway did the opposite. They had obsolete shipyards. What did they do? They started building the platforms in the North Sea, and they started building the supply vessels. I do Panto in Aberdeen every year, and I was in the harbour down, not for any other purpose, by the way, just having a wee wander, you know. And I note not one ship in the harbour at Aberdeen is built here, is built in the UK. That is a disgrace, and that is the legacy. That is why we are at this point now. And for a long time, a lot of my pals who voted no, who are lefties, socialists, didn't want to vote yes because they didn't want to abandon their comrades in the south. I get that argument a lot, that in some way, in the yes movement, we're being selfish. We were abandoning people down south, our comrades in the trade union movement and all that. Well, I have to say, we're not. Now the realisation is, and we have to accept, although there were regions of England and Wales that suffered, Scotland did suffer more. And that is why we are here. We are only now in recovery. And what a bloody recovery, eh? This is where we are. We're in recovery now. And we have to make sure, because a lot of our MPs who are going down, they're going to, there was a great phrase Margot MacDonald told me that when she was first elected, that Manny Shinwell, who was then Lord Shinwell, she said, why did you abandon it? And he said, what? Why did you abandon Home Rule? It was in the Labour Party when you were set up. Home Rule was one of your great strengths. And he turned to her in one of the bars, of course, and said, my dear, look at it. I.e., why would you give this up? This grandeur, this vast public school, why would you give this up to go back and listen to women talk about their damp pussies and Springburn or whatever? And that was the reason. And we know now that we are sending MPs down there his will not be turned. That's what's the most important thing here. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson saying that I presented with an award at some Great Scot thing, and he said it's always very weird when you've made your career in England, you come back, you think the Scots will hate you, and they'll be like, who does he think he is, and all that sort of stuff. And he said to get an award here it means so much. And I said, no, Scots only turn against you. And it's a great phrase, one of Margot's, where they only turn against you if you forget your old arse and get a new one. And that is what we're... And now, we'll also be faced with a right-wing press who are going to cringe at them. They're going to cringe at our accents. They're going to cringe at our backgrounds. They're going to cringe at the schools we went to. We've already seen it with Mary Black and what they're trying to do to her. I also love on Facebook, one of my pals in London sent me the picture of Alex and Nicola, and underneath it was a picture of me and Rab. And I texted back and I said, I'd take the four of them running things anytime before those old Etonian toffs. So that level of cringe, that level of snobbery will exist, but my God, will shake them up, and that is no bad thing. Take as many selfies as you want in the chamber, as far as I'm concerned. Applaud when you want to applaud. And this is not some grandiose, was like us, Tartan Army sort of thing going down. We are much better than that. We are more sophisticated than that. We are more intelligent than that. Just because we speak with working class accents does not mean we're stupid. And that is something that we have to take with us and wear it proudly. Say, this is who we are, this is who we represent, and these people are of us. That is who we are sending down, and we should stand beside them, hold them to task. We'll be shouting at you if you get it wrong as well. Hold them to task, support them, and say they represent us. And do away with the cringe that has crippled Scotland and beyond for far too long. Ashamed of who we are, ashamed of our accents, ashamed of our background. All of the people here, I think, will do a wonderful job in putting the points of view of the people who need it the most and articulate it. I remember a Guardian journalist, when I was doing a thing with Alan Bissett, said to me, what are you going to say to my dad, who's a trade unionist in Manchester, who's bereft at the thought of his Scottish comrades going elsewhere? I said, tell him we're not going anywhere. Tell him we're staying here to fight, and you tell him as well we'll be on the first bus down to help out when you need it. Well, here they come, on the first bus down. Wish them luck, Godspeed, as they say. And I really should have a bottle of champagne going, I named this ship. And then I could drink it, that'd be good. But wish them all, give them a huge Glasgow send-off and wish them all the best. Good luck to all of you. Woo!